What is going on, everybody? It's your good friend Random Hero Gaming here, and I am blown away by the support of my previous video on just male loneliness in general, and I know it's a very, very pertinent topic for the moment. A lot of people are really feeling it. A lot of people are really struggling. The algorithm seems to have really recommended the video to a lot of people. And that means a lot of people are searching for that topic, and a lot of people are just hurting. A lot of people are really feeling it, the weight of modern society. And that's a good segue into this next video. Have you ever heard that overused phrase? It's almost a meme now. The hard times create strong men create good times create weak men, rinse and repeat. Well, newsflash for the boomers. You guys were the weak men that created the hard times. And they refuse to own that. Good luck explaining that to them, that they squandered Western society. Good luck telling them that. They won't believe you. They won't take any ownership for it. No one will. And it's almost comical that they'll blame millennials and Gen Z for just this extremely weak, sissified society that we live in, when we've had no influence in politics, culture. I mean, are we tools to push culture? Yes, but tools of the boomers that own these networks and own these large corporations that push out propaganda, and you know what I'm saying. So right now we're living in those hard times, and people will gaslight you and say, oh, well, dude, remember World War II or the Black Plague? Things like that. You remember when we used to have world wars, bro? Like, you don't have it so bad, kid. You don't. And, like, as if telling that. If you're a Zoomer or a millennial, you're worked to the bone. You get home and you're underpaid. You can barely afford a meal. You can barely afford to keep your place. You want a house. You want all the things your parents and grandparents got, and you're struggling, even though you're working hard. And someone comes up to you and says, well, pal, at least it's not World War II. Does that give you any motivation? Does that alleviate your anxiety, your angst? Does it do any of that for you? I mean, these people don't really care, and we should never forgive them for that. we really shouldn't. But we are in the hard times, and it is a crisis of meaning. It's a crisis of motivation. It's all that, and it's people viewing each other as competition, as I said in my last video. But above all, these people that went through these wars, they had something to go home to. They had a family that wouldn't survive without them. They had the prospects of a family that was achievable. They could taste it. They know, oh, I'm going to go home and, you know, within 2 years I'll have a wife and a house and I'll be back on my feet. I'll have a good paying job. Good luck motivating our generation to want to go and fight for this country. It's not going to be very fruitful for you. There's nothing, like, realistically, we do live in a great country. There's no doubt about that. There are a lot of positive things, but we're experiencing a spiritual crisis. I mean, you talk about the Black Plague. These people had a vision for their country and what it could be, and that things were going to get better, and it kept them going. It gave them something to fight for. Whereas you look at Gen Z and you ask them, do you really see things getting better? Do you see the wealth disparity getting better? Do you see tensions on the street between our fellow men? Or is it getting better? Is it more peaceful? Do people trust each other more? Are people looking out for each other more? I saw there was a plane crash in Pennsylvania a few months ago, and it just this guy was, I think, at a McDonald's or something, just in the drive-thru, and he's watching this all happen. He's just recording it. He doesn't run into the fire to rescue people. He's just recording it. He doesn't care. And that's how a lot of people feel. They just don't care. They've checked out. They have checked out. And these are tough times. And if you tell me, boomers, oh, well, it's not that bad. You could walk down the street and you can get any candy you want from the 7-Eleven. So, actually, checkmate. You live in a good country. You live in the greatest country ever. You can go to the movie theater and you could watch a movie that criticizes communism or something. Oh, but you don't live in that bad of times. You got free speech, bro. They'll really say that to you. They really will. And it's not helpful. It's not helpful at all. They don't want to be helpful. Because if the boomers and Gen Xers want to be helpful, that would mean they would drastically have to change the country that they built. And that in that process, they would have to obviously admit their experiment went wrong and they screwed up. Good luck getting them to admit that. Zoomers and millennials are way more empathetic. They would definitely be more likely to, I don't know, donate wealth, look out for the future generations, own up to mistakes. I just get infuriated when I hear those things. That just like, you don't really have it that bad. It's not that bad. It's really not that bad. I mean, especially as men, we're kind of it's interesting the advice men and women get. Zoomer men and women get. Zoomer men are told, lower your standards, dude. Just get a nice little job at a factory or a restaurant or something, and just be happy with what you got. Like, just settle. Just settle on everything in life. Settle on a woman. Settle on your job. Settle on where you live. Settle on everything. Settle on what you want out of life. Telling these kids that dream to make something for themselves. Just telling them to settle. But then it's like women, on the other hand, oh, never settle. Never settle till you're happy. You could do it. Never settle for a job. Never settle for a man. Never settle for everything. And it's totally backwards. Like, it's completely backwards. And as a man, no one's really looking out for your best interest, and you know it. You know it. You see it. It's there, and people gaslight you that it isn't, but you don't have to listen to them because they don't have a clue. They don't have a clue. People the age of 40 and older, they don't have a damn clue. And the sad reality is that also they wouldn't ever like to admit, but a lot of these people, 40s and over, like my grandfather, I'll tell you, he's a pretty awkward, introverted guy. And I think he would be I don't think my whole family lineage would exist if he were alive today, as someone my age or younger. I don't think he ever would have found my grandma. It's just, they would never admit that because they have this ego. They have an ego that they did it right. They're smart. They're the smart ones. They are intelligent. They stand out. They did this, that, and there are plenty of people that do admit things were better and that things are declining. But that's in the minority. And if you find people like that older, I'm not saying just discount all people's advice that are older than you, but definitely realize that most of them have no idea, and a lot of their advice won't apply today. A lot of it wouldn't. We know that. But Gen Z men ultimately are realizing the juice is not worth the squeeze, and we are living in the hard times. But these hard times, everyone, we are definitely going to be able to adapt, and we are adapting. You're seeing a lot of men just walking away and letting this thing collapse, letting this beast sort of fall down on top of everything and wipe it all out. And that's what you got to do. Like, it's what people are doing. That's how we are adapting. Why give something to something that hates you? Why give your time, effort? And people are realizing that. And that's not to say just totally drop out, don't do anything, just be a recluse. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, just be realistic. And don't let them gaslight you, because what you're feeling is valid. You understand the emptiness of this society, and the solution, the options, the sort of the antidote to all this that I'm just trying to get at. You know, I don't have all the answers. I'm not a multimillionaire with 9 kids and, you know, all that stuff. By many metrics, I would be a failure in the eyes of a lot of people. But I'm just saying, we need to treat each other better. We need to be there for each other, especially as men. And we need to understand that things will not get better overnight. And it'll take some time. But you are not crazy. You're not a loser. You're not objectively a failure for just being not compatible with this current system and the way it is. And you're not weak. You're not the weak men that created the hard times. You're not. You're not. So take some solace in that. You're not crazy. You could read the comments of my last video. You're not crazy. So many people are struggling. So many men are struggling. And it's heartbreaking. And we just got to be there for each other. Next couple videos won't be so somber. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Love hearing your feedback below. Shocked I've got 200 subs already, but it's a great time. More videos on the way. Peace.